Hey guys, before we start the video, I'm going to put up a warning. If it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. You don't have to take our opinions in the video as fact. We don't state it as fact. It's just our opinions on the community and the state of the game. So I hope you guys enjoy. So, welcome back. This is my fucking first video in what feels like a month. And so, we're going to be talking about Frontiers with two other people. One of them has been on my channel beforehand. We did a tier list. And the other is Pro-ish, if you could introduce yourselves.
Yo, my name is Xavier, Pro, whatever. You call me whatever. I be posting on my channel, just posting whatever. This is my dude Andrew, and we gonna talk about Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers. I'm really excited for this game, but I am worried, and we're gonna be talking about our thoughts and shit.
Yo,
And
they call
you as
me
well.
Aria. They call me Aria, Izzy, Ishmael. You all can call me Aria. I occasionally drop some music and occasionally stream on Twitch. I have been relatively avoiding almost everything in regards to Sonic Frontiers because I want to experience the game blind, but there is a couple things that I have seen, and I'm incredibly excited about this game. Let's get ready with this discussion. I'm ready.
Alright,
Sonic fan extraordinaire, by the way.
yep, we
That's
all are.
nasty.
So, our first question is, what makes you the most excited about Sonic Frontiers? Like, what is the one thing that you're really excited about it?
Who wants to talk first?
I guess I can go first. Or you?
You can go. You can go alphabetical.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I'm most excited about is the fact that the game itself is open world. I've been saying that Sonic the Hedgehog can work in an open world format for like literally 10 years. A long time ago, there was a fan game called Sonic GDK, where it was this huge area where it was like Green Hill Zone. You had to find the gold ring in an open area, and the format to me worked. With a little refinement, it could have been even more phenomenal. So I'm most excited about the fact that it's open world, and I can't wait to see how the level design and exploration will go in changing without the Sonic Boost formula, how Sonic will perform in open world format. That's what I'm excited about, because I've been saying it for years.
I'm
Yep.
not trying to I'm not trying to interrupt
Yeah.
anybody. But, not you.
Oh yeah, okay.
Edit this out.
Yeah,
Edit this out. All right. The two things I'm very excited about for Sonic Frontiers. I also have not been looking at a lot of stuff like Ishmael has been said, because I do not want to get spoiled on a lot of stuff. Because this game, they're definitely not trying to go super. They're going crazy on some of the stuff with the game, but they still haven't like told us some key things, especially about the story. I've been very excited about the story because I'm loving the tone. I don't mind
Agreed.
Sonic. I don't mind serious Sonic. I do like Sonic Colors writing. I don't mind the Sonic Colors writing. Unlike other people, I don't mind the Sonic Generations writing and stuff like that. But I do like the darker tones of like Sonic Unleashed and the Sonic Adventure 2 mood and storyline. Like those games have flaws in their story, but I don't mind flaws in the story as long as I like the mood. And
Yeah.
I don't mind Sonic having a deeper, darker mood or a happier mood. So I'm happy that this game is going to be going back to a darker mood, but I feel like it's not going to fail like on Sonic Forces did. Sonic Forces tried to do a darker mood, but like it was weird. Like it was like the contrast wasn't working, especially on certain lines.
Yeah,
like
and the jokes did not land.
Everyone was too cheerful for literally the world being taken over and put into a serious state of oppression. I think the characters themselves weren't placed in the theme that was the game.
it it's crazy. Like me personally, I'm really excited for that tone, and I don't mind a serious tone like that.
Right.
But one of the things I am sometimes worried about is definitely like how long is the story gonna be? Because I want the story to be a decent size. Because we already know this game's gonna be long. We're gonna talk about more worries later on. One of my worries is that like it might be too much of a collectathon. But like one of the things I have seen is that the game's long, but I'm hoping that the story is actually gonna be like as on, like actually like there's gonna be like story elements that are gonna last the entire game, and not just like introduce the villain at the beginning of the game. A big like let me say I don't want it to be like a Zelda game. I feel like some Zelda games start with story and then there's like a huge gap of no story and just
Facts.
gameplay until
Yeah.
the story again at the end. And I don't want Sonic Forces to be like that. I want there to constantly be a story.
Twilight Princess
Yeah.
did that too.
What, for me, my side, from what I'm excited about. So for me, it's like I'm not completely like I like seeing more shit, but I'm still like I don't know anything about the story. I don't know about certain things. I still don't know the rest of the island's names. But the one thing I'm mostly excited about is fucking moving around in the world, and and the stuff I've been hearing about cyberspace. It might so I'm not gonna get into that until later.
Yeah, we
But,
can't get into that yet.
I'm not gonna get into that until later because I do have an opinion on that. But right now, I think the meat of the game is really just the open world. That's it.
Yeah.
The meat of the game is just the open world. The combat looks sick as hell. I really like the combat.
Good.
It's like when someone is actually, because I've seen a clip, when someone's in control who actually knows what they're doing, it looks sick, not mediocre. So like that's why I'm like, okay, I can't wait to play the game. And for my hands, I've heard so many the final previews before the game comes out. I've heard of that from Someone Call Me Johnny and all that, and it for me it sounds good because so many people are like, hey, compared to what happened in the IGN showcase, it's way better than I expected. And I was like, that is a good thing. That's exactly what they should just start going for, because it's like if they didn't, it would have been like, ah, shit, it's the same game. It might not be good. But I honestly believe that it'll be a good 7 to 8, and that's all we really need, to be honest, because this is a foundation of the game.
Yeah.
A foundation, and it doesn't have to be the best Sonic game in the world. It just has to be better than Forces. That's literally it.
I don't need another Sonic Adventure 2. And I'll preface that by saying the director himself said that with Frontiers, maybe someday Sonic Team could make another Sonic Adventure game, make another whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And all of that when he said that, we had just got the alpha footage, and yes, it was alpha footage that was sent to IGN. So everyone's like, oh, this game's going to be buns, but that was literally
alpha.
It was literally alpha. It was literally the bare bones, the foundation of what the game was. So I just can't wait, dog. I lost my train of thought because I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah. I fucking I know for me the story, I have a feeling that the story is obviously gonna carry on from each island. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I think. Each island there's gonna be some type of progression because you still gotta save Amy, save Knuckles, as Hells, or something like that. You still gotta save them.
Knuckles, yeah.
And I'm like,
other characters
because I have a theory, because obviously in that one trailer his hand is affected.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking that like every single time he saves his friends, he's doing something, it's slowly messing him up, and he's in pain. So I have a feeling like yeah, this game might have a sad ass ending, depending on what happens to Sonic. Cause Sonic, he's that type of dude. He's always that type of dude who will like do anything just to save his friends and shit.
He's the type to fight for his friends and sacrifice if need be.
So that's why I think that the story might. I hope it rivals Unleashed.
Yeah.
I hope it rivals Unleashed, because Unleashed is top tier.
Unleashed's peak, and I have my theory. This is a little bit off topic, but I want to say this because we're talking about story. Um, and then I'll say what I think about Frontier story. Sonic Unleashed, when it was made, its story, if you look at it from an objective standpoint, it feels very final chapter esque.
Yeah.
Like when you see the end of Sonic Unleashed, you're like, Eggman's defeated. Like there's no greater evil he could commit. Dude literally split the world to pieces.
Yeah.
We've got this ultimate force of good that is our new best friend, and he sacrificed his life, sealed himself away to save us. That felt like an end to Sonic. Plus, Sonic Team was going through horrible financial issues at the time, so
Yeah.
it felt like a conclusion to Sonic's story. But with Frontiers, and this is my main point now, with Frontiers, I feel like we're not necessarily rebranding Sonic, but we're in a new chapter, a new phase of Sonic. And with the script, we've got new writers. Ian Flynn is writing it. Thank God. We don't have writers that don't know about Sonic or the game. And, you know, Ian Flynn is an excellent writer. He's somebody that knows how to bring out qualities that are hinted at in games in the comics. So he really knows how to bring the universe of Sonic to life, bring out the most of these characters.
Like even in the original comics,
even the
where
comics,
he made the characters better. He made the characters better. He gave them more character.
The IDW comics, Ian Flynn really brought out the best of these characters, showing emotions and sides of Cream. Like even Cream, like she's such a minor character, but it got to a point where even Sonic was like, man, that girl is going to do great things one day in the Metal Virus arc. So the story of Frontiers is probably the thing that I'm most excited about overall. The game itself, I'm the most excited about overall. But if we're talking about the product that is Frontiers, the story is definitely going to be the selling point for me, because this could be the next Unleashed. If this sells well enough and the story is good enough, thanks to Ian Flynn's amazing characterization of these side characters, as well as Sonic himself, he understands who Sonic the Hedgehog is and what Sonic the Hedgehog represents.
Yeah, that's basically like it's just that's why I was like I had so much hope. Much hope in it. But I think we should move on to the next topic, and is what do you think Frontiers? What do you think its biggest flaw?
Are we talking about gameplay itself, or overall with its media, social media, its advertisement, marketing?
I'm talking just simply like it could be cyberspace. It could be anything about the game, not advertising. I'm just talking about solely about the game.
About the game.
Because I got my answer.
I would say it's simplicity for interactions with enemies. And I know that seems weird because we haven't seen much of the combat. Well, from what we've seen has been very limited. But even with the most recent trailer where they revealed more of the combat and like the skill tree and stuff like that, there was this boss or this large enemy Sonic was fighting where he was grinding on the rails, but he was just going in a circle around him. I feel like if there was obstacles on these rails and they were rotating slowly, or if it was interchangeably going around and being complicated for Sonic to somehow complete this full circle around the enemy, that would have been incredibly engaging and really challenging to the player. But in some ways, from what we've seen, the combat itself seems very simple, very basic and to the point, which is not bad, because I'm sure that they can execute that wonderfully, but it's a very limited and simple, and I think that that could be the biggest flaw for Frontiers if they're not careful.
Yeah. I think my biggest flaw would be cyberspace. My biggest
Really?
flaw, yeah, the reason why I'm saying that is because from what I've heard and from what I've seen, the physics are slightly different from open world. They don't carry over, the settings you put in the game for open world, they don't carry over to cyberspace. And I feel like, yeah, and from what we only have seen, there's only been at least four themes of type of levels, but the level layout is going to be from different games. That's what I'm from what I'm seeing, it's from different games. I like that, but it's like just having four themes like fucking Green Hill, Sky Sanctuary, Chemical Plant, and the Metropolis theme. Like it obviously it doesn't damper my score of the game. It doesn't.
Right.
But I just wish that because I feel like it was probably put in last. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
It was probably put in last. That's why I'm thinking of it. It was probably put in last, and they weren't able to do certain things that they wanted to. Obviously, they're like, okay, let's try to do something at least good enough to where it's not like doo-doo, but it's still like shit. I feel like it was put in last. Like, same like the rails in the open world. I feel like that was put in last as well.
I definitely think that was the last minute decision
Yeah,
as well.
because
that's my fear for the combat because of the rails.
I don't think the rails are going to interact with the combat. I don't think that should be the main, because to be honest, I purely see them as just moving around in the open world. From what I've seen, I think it's just purely that. I think for that enemy specifically, it's just that. I don't think.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
It's just
for
that.
that specific enemy.
Then that's pretty much it. I've seen crazier shit, and that's all I gotta say. I've seen crazier shit, and the skill potential in this game is actually very high, and that's what I believe it.
Yeah, the skill ceiling is very up there.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can see why you would say cyberspace could be the biggest flaw. I could see why you say that the physics could be different in cyberspace, but I think they might be the same. Now, the reason why I think they might be the same is just from brief clips how I've seen how Sonic dashes with the weird little acceleration thing that's not a boost. It's not a boost, but it's a sudden increase or an air dash that replaces the boost formula. I think that the cyberspace levels have fixed camera angle, while in the open world we have free control of the camera, and that is why it'll feel different. In certain phases of the cyber levels, I believe that there will be fixed cameras, like maybe an automated loop occasionally, or a spiraling pathway that requires a camera panning that will be more difficult for the player to freely control than it just being automated. But I think that with the controls, how they seem to appear, how fluid Sonic seems to be moving, I think that the cyberspace levels are what we've been looking for but didn't know for a long time. And I think it'll offer, especially from that Metropolis cyberspace level, from what I've seen, the amount of control that Sonic has in that is what fan game devs have been doing for forever. It's what the Infinity Engine has been doing. It's what Sonic Omens, as much as people disdain it right now, has been doing. And that's why I'm excited for these cyberspace levels, including its creativity. People are saying, they're just biting off of previously made things and they're just reusing old content, but it is much harder than most people believe it to be to port old levels in to new games, because they're entirely different engines.
Entirely different physics.
I've seen cyberspace levels, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but one of them has the rail area.
Yeah, that's exactly
from
what
City Escape. It is the exact same, but it's a cyberspace level. And when I noticed it, I was like, whoa, this is creative. There's got to be a reason for this. And they've said in interviews that they've deliberately are taking us through classic levels to make us want to go off of muscle memory and familiarity, and that's why I'm excited to try that City Escape inspired cyberspace level, because it's going to be different. It's going to feel familiar, and they're playing on that nostalgia. They're playing on that nostalgia, yes, and a lot of people are mad about that, but they're using it to manipulate your sense of familiarity while introducing you to new content, and that's why I'm excited for it the most, alongside the open world.
To add on that, I'm just glad they did not bring Classic Sonic again. Give him his own
I'm
fucking
so
game.
Glad. We have a new timeline that was spurred off from Sonic Generations, and they continued it from that with Mania. Just make a new line of classic Sonic games with Christian Whitehead and his dev team, and make classic Sonic games. They'll sell. People love Mania. Sonic Origins would have sold if the port itself, that collection, was not rushed. It would have sold even more. People were excited for them. The classic games can sell. If you create new classic Sonic games, those will sell. Also, bring back Chuck Rider, but that's something.
I believe Frontier's biggest flaw is all of what I've heard about the collectathon aspect of it. So I learned that in the game you're going to be collecting a lot of MacGuffins to get throughout the story and to collect more things or like unlock more things. And I feel like that could be a problem. I feel like if the gameplay is not good enough, or the gameplay is like not like unique enough with the different abilities, it can get very stale or very repetitive very quickly. And I'm hoping that with all the abilities you can lock in the skill tree and the amount of different enemies that you're able to fight, that it won't be stale like that. But I'm still worried about that because a lot of people have been talking about it that play the game that it does get a little stale. Then again, that was just a demo and they only had certain abilities, but that is definitely my biggest worry about it. I'm not worried about the story or worried about like anything else. I'm just worried about the gameplay getting repetitive. So I'm really hoping that's not the case.
Needs to change about the Sonic community. I've really had a disdain for the Sonic community because I'm in it. And the amount of... It's like, the reason why we always say Sonic fans don't know what they want is because there's so many elitists. It's either... Or it's like when you criticize the game, it's like, oh, why you hating? Or if you fucking love the game and shit, they'll just call you a dick rider. And I'm like, you just can't like a game without criticize. Like it's just, they just don't know how to do that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it, they soft. Some of them are soft. They're soft.
Yeah, that's kind of facts.
They're soft.
I agree. Yeah, mad soft. I agree. I think that alongside what you said, I think that what needs to change the most in the Sonic community is expectations. I say expectations because there's a lot of people that have too high expectations. So when they get a product of Sonic from Sonic Team from Sega, they're angry because it's not what they want, not what they hoped it would be. But they're so excited for a new Sonic game. They're so excited for it. What could possibly come, that they keep theorizing and keep raising the bar for things that are so unfeasible. When Sonic Forces was known as Project 2017, both of us were hyped out of our minds. We were so excited for Forces. And then it got to a point where they was like, wait, Resistance? I got super excited. I started theorizing like crazy because I grew up reading the Archie comics. So I'm like, yo, are they finally going to make Sally and the Freedom Fighters canon? Dude, this is going to be so dope.
I genuinely wanted a good ass story. I wanted a dark story adapted into the games.
Dark story, yeah. I wanted a dark story with something like the Freedom Fighters. I thought that was going to be dope. I thought that was going to be the coolest thing ever. And then I didn't get that. They established a whole new world for Sonic with the fan characters, showing the universe of Sonic, whatever world they're on, because I don't think it's Mobius, but whatever world they're on, with only animal characters and Eggman. Like, whoa, this is actually Sonic's world. And then Ian Flynn built on that in the comics. afterwards. But
Yeah.
it wasn't what I expected because I set my expectations so high. And then for some people, they set their expectations too low. We haven't had a good Sonic game since Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 1. Every game is mad mediocre, you know?
Yeah.
So I think people need to, and I've learned this lesson myself, and it's why I've been avoiding everything for Sonic Forces. Because one of my favorite, I won't name them, but one of my favorite Sonic content creators were comparing the footage that we've seen from IGN for Frontiers to Sonic Forces. And I was like, anybody can tell you this is an alpha build. If anyone's familiar with game development whatsoever, anybody could tell you that this is literally placeholder things, very bare bone. And they're just crapping, but I'm like, let the game come out. We've got a full year before anything else even gets told to us about this game. They could already be well past the build that was provided to IGN.
Which was proven literally a month later.
Which was proven. They just gave IGN an earlier build because their newest build wasn't stable yet. So I stopped believing in content creators for Sonic. I stopped following the community for Sonic. I have decided that while I love the Sonic community, it's too divided. They don't know what they want, and they're too angry when things don't reach the expectations that they've set too high. So I went in blind. I'm going in blind, and I think that everyone should do the same. Yeah, like, it's cool to have your favorite content creators. You know, there's some really great ones out there that love Sonic, and even community members that just love Sonic and love talking about it and do it in a healthy way. But just look away from opinions, dog. Yeah. I guarantee you, when that game comes out, if you're doing it like I am right now, when you get to play Frontiers, it will be exciting because you didn't come in with preconceived notions.
Like, for me, it's like when people freak out over the littlest shit, like when people show off gameplay and try to like hate on the game, I'm like, dog, that could already be fixed, or that could probably get fixed later. Like, for me, it's like, I'm like, yeah, it could have problems, but don't just try to say it's a terrible game. But there was one person that I actually truly believe is like one of the best ever, and it's fucking Fidel on the down low, because he literally he could critique the game and absolutely not bash it in the same fucking sentence.
Yep. He'll be the first to tell you, hey, this looks kind of all over the place, but you know, this is something that can be patched, or this is something that would definitely be fixed later on before the game comes out. Or he's optimistic. He's not pessimistic like a lot of people are.
Like, for me, when I first saw the gameplay, I was like, okay, this is probably not everything, so I'm gonna still be on the lookout. And that's what I think people should have been like, instead of, because I know I followed a couple people. I was following a couple people, and they were like, "Oh, this game is ass. It's Sonic Forces 2.0." And I saw in real time how they switched up over the course of the month. I saw how they switched up. I'm like, you see, this is why I literally was like, it's not that bad right now. It probably will be better. And they've listened. The director tweeted out that he was listening to the fans and tried to fix as much as he could. So that's why I'm like, with certain shit, like, I swear, if this game, it's totally possible for it to get like at least a 70, or if it's a 70, I know niggas are gonna be like, oh, I knew this game was probably. I'm like, dog, that's a good score.
That's a really good score.
That's a good score.
If a game was bad, it would be 50, 40, 30, maybe even lower.
It would be lower than 70. But if it's 70 or higher, then I think that would be a good indication. But okay, we did better than our previous game, so we should probably build onto it. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
A lot of people are crapping on this game, and they're forgetting that guys. It's 2022. I guarantee you probably play Overwatch or Valorant or even 2K. And those games get patches. Those games get balance adjustments, modifications, improvements well after the game's been released. Breath of the Wild, even, we know how Nintendo can be. They don't do much for their games sometimes. But even Breath of the Wild got updates occasionally to fix major issues. Now, there's still a lot of crazy things you can do in Breath of the Wild that speedrunners have a field day with. But Breath of the Wild got its updates. I guarantee you, Frontiers will get its updates. It'll get its patches. It'll get its hot fixes for any major game-breaking bugs that could solve problems.
It can fix literally animations.
Literally. Because as much as I didn't like what they did with Colors Ultimate got adjustments. And there was horrible propaganda and lies that were spread about Colors Ultimate when it was coming out because of the Yuzu emulator, I believe.
Yeah.
And those weren't actually in the game. That's been proven. Now, there were some serious issues, but nothing as crazy as that. That was emulation. But there were some coloring issues that had, no pun intended, there were color issues in Colors Ultimate. There were engine problems in Colors Ultimate from, if I recall correctly, that got patched. So why can't Frontiers be patched? It will be patched. If there's a major issue, and if it reaches the attention of those that need to know, or if it gets to the right eyes, the right ears, then it will be fixed. Because as much as we like to crap on Sonic Team, they love what they do. They love what they do. And while the writers have finally changed, because some of them didn't know what they were doing, the people that make these games love what they do. They love Sonic just as much as us. Ian Flynn loves this franchise as much as us.
And it's like, for me, it's like I fuck with Sam Procrastinates, and I like more than half the time he gets attacked for his criticisms, and it's either taken out of context. It's always taken out of context. Like the recent one where people thought he was calling Sonic Team lazy because of the cyberspace. They thought he said it was lazy, which wasn't what he said. And it's like, for me, it's like, I know we're gonna see the switch up in real time. We already know what's gonna happen. And for me, it's like, if this game is genuinely, despite the flaws it has, if it's genuinely just a good game in general, niggas don't deserve another. They don't deserve another.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's like, if you don't like the game, that's fair game. I'm not gonna like be like, oh, you don't like the game, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do that shit. If you don't like a game,
keep it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that shit. If you don't like the game, you don't like the game. That's it. Like, I don't even like certain fucking games that people love. I don't like them. I'm not gonna be like, oh, no. For me, it's like, I play Sonic Unleashed. That should be a main point. But it's like, people really need to stop attacking others because of their opinions. Stop trying to dox people for their opinions. Allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, but stop doing that shit. Stop doing that shit. It does not help anybody, and it doesn't help no one when you're consistently trying to blame the devs for everything that they either, like, they have higher ups, Sega. Yep. Fucking Sega. I hope people, they don't forget that Sega is still people who own Sonic.
Yeah. Sega still owns
they're
Sonic.
in control. They're in control of that shit. Still. If they want Green Hill, they're gonna have to put that shit in.
Yep.
They can't fucking say no. They can't put it's either you do it or you get fired and you get replaced.
Easy as that.
That is literally that.
Let me say this about Green Hill Zone. And I think this needs to be said. I know a lot of people are tired of seeing Green Hill Zone. the beginning of every Sonic game. But a lot of you Sonic fans are also Mario fans. If a Mario game can start at Peach's Castle every game, if every Mario Brothers game following the Wii game that came out in like what, 2008, 2009, 2010?
Yeah.
And they made the same game for the next 5 years, probably more. But every one of those games started at Peach's Castle. When they made Super Mario 3D World and then 3D Land, where did they start? Peach's Castle. It has a consistent starting point. It is a starter, an establishing point. Every game, every sense of writing, every film has an establishing shot that starts the game with a set of tone that tells you where the general location of the film or the piece of media will be. Green Hill Zone is not one specific place. Sonic isn't starting in Japan and he's like, I'll say it this way. Sonic is not starting in North America every time he's beginning an adventure and then running down to like South America to Brazil.
It's like, for me it's like this. I do get them getting tired of Green Hill because we had
I can understand it, but it's
I can understand this shit. Yeah.
It's a starting point, and it's Green Hill Zone is not one specific place. It's literally like it's like plains. It's plains. It's a valley. It's a meadow. Whatever the proper word for it is. That Green Hill Zone is spread far. It's all over the place. That's when Forces started. He was in Green Hill Zone, but it ended up becoming a sand zone as well. I don't remember what it was called, but it ended up becoming a mixed Green Hill Zone and a sand zone as well. That happens in real life. We could be walking out in some mountains and all of a sudden we're by a desert. Green Hill Zone is literally just some grass, bro. It's just plains. It's spread far. Now he's in multiple different locations, wherever, and he ends up where he needs to be. If we start off a story in a random place every different time, let's be honest, this community will complain that Sonic does not have a sense of continuity, which is already a major complaint.
I actually do get that. Actually, I do see that.
Saying?
I do. I would see that shit happening. Honestly, I would see
what
that
I'm
shit
saying?
happening.
If we don't start the following Sonic games not in a familiar place, we're gonna be like, Sonic is completely random. I'll give you some examples. Sonic Adventure started where? Station Square. Sonic Adventures 2 started where? City Escape. Then what was the next game? Heroes started at Seaside Hill. Then Shadow the Hedgehog started in West Metropolis. Dog, where do those meet up? Where do those meet up? And that was a complaint from multiple people. Then we got the storybook games. One of them's in telling Arthur Pendragon, and then another one's telling the story of the Arabian Nights, basically. Dog, there's no continuity there. There's no sense of a connected story, and there's no sense of a timeline for Sonic. But
for me, I think it's drastic between 1 and 2.
It's very drastic between 1 and 2.
For me, it's like, I understand if it's different. Like, if there's certain games and we get a new location, like a new level and shit, I'm like, ooh, fair game.
Environmental fog, things like that, all were in the original adventure game, but in the port were not present. There was realistic mood lighting for like the Eggman, the egg carrier levels. They were meant to represent like a dark, grimy laboratory, and there was dynamic lighting to reflect that.
Yep.
Which wasn't present in the port. So it's unfortunate, but they did DX justice by making that mod, which I still need to try out myself.
It fixes some of the gripes. It still doesn't fix Big, obviously, because I really still hate him. Amy isn't that bad as I originally thought. Amy wasn't that bad.
Amy's really not that bad, yeah.
But it was still a better experience beating the game compared to beating the game like either as a kid or previously beforehand. And
Mhm.
and now I just want to get to the last question. And the last question is,
When you said change about the Sonic community, the Sonic community needs to figure out what the hell they want. Like, a lot of Sonic fans don't know what they want, or people that are not really Sonic fans just say things, and then when we get those things, they don't want it. Like, we wanted an open world Sonic game for a long time, and even though I said, like, my biggest flaw in the game is I hope it's not repetitive, even if it is repetitive, it is still, like, what I want, and it's fun. Like, at the end of the day, they accomplished their goal for me, and I know what I want. I know what I want in a Sonic game. I don't mind 3D Sonic, but I prefer 2D Sonic, but I still would like an open world 3D Sonic game, and as long as it's fun, fast, and has, like, I'm able to have fun, then it's fine. A lot of Sonic fans just, like, don't want to be happy about any games that come out. Like, the last few games that came out, I can understand, like, Forces was bad. I can understand if you don't like Unleash or don't like Colors and stuff like that, or Lost World and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of fans just want to be mad just to be mad. Like, I heard some people saying they don't even like Sonic 2, which is crazy. Like, just, not even like you don't like it's not one of your favorites, but just saying it's bad. I feel like Sonic fans just want to hate on something just to be mad at something. And I feel like sometimes you just gotta be like, calm down. Like, bro, like, this game, I'm hoping this game is good, but if it's not good, then it's not good and we can shit on it. But, like, you can't be just like, oh my god, like, you can't be just like doing like, they just automatically start hating. Because then, like, what do you really want? Like, do you want anything? Like, do you really want anything? And I'm like, a lot of people just don't know what they want. And I think that's the problem with the Sonic community, is that people don't know what they want and then complain about stuff that they're not getting, even though they don't know what they want.
from what you've watched so far, how would you rate it?
Mm. From what I've seen so far, which isn't much, but I've seen a lot of key things as well. I would say either a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10.
I've heard that from everybody who said that. Everybody has been saying it. Even people who've been playing it.
7.5 or 8 out of 10.
And I don't disagree. I believe it is. Like, from what, I haven't played it yet, but I believe it's either a 7.5 or 8. And if it's a 7.5 or an 8, I'm playing that shit a lot.
I'm playing that a lot.
And I think what'll make it a 9 out of 10 for me is if the story lands, which I believe it, I'm hoping it will, because Ian Flynn is writing it.
Ian Flynn is writing it, and they've approved what he's written for the comics.
Yeah, and even the director wrote it, rewrote it, and for the Japanese, so they could have a better experience too.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, I'm like, because I feel like they finally kind of recognize that, hey, yeah, let's have him write it. We want our fans to actually have a good time this time. Let's have him write it instead of the writers we've been hiring for the past couple years.
Yeah.
The past decade.
Yeah.
And I finally feel like them having Supersonic,
Right.
like, mind you, it's still like, wait, we could go super this fucking early?
Early? Yeah.
Yeah,
why
like,
I don't
that's...
think he's going to be the...
he's
Supersonic's not going to be the critical end.
It's not.
And I'm excited
It's
for that.
most
I'm like,
definitely
are we
not.
going to get a new super form? I hope so.
I feel like it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like a mix of a corrupted. It's gonna be like a corrupted form. It's most definitely gonna be like that. Or it's gonna be something, or like a big technology based as power up. What I think is though, each Titan, because I've read the prologue of, it's like it doesn't really go into things. It just shows up. It just shows them how they get there.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say it's gonna show. It's like an establishing.
It just shows how it gets there, but it did give us some valuable information, some context, and it basically, like, about Sage. It gave us some context. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Hopefully, we'll see more about it. And for me, it's like, I instantly from the get go, I was like, Sage is definitely not the villain. Definitely not.
I need to read it.
It's a shadow. It's a shadow of the. It's not gonna be like. It's not gonna make you think, oh, she's not the villain. But the way she's been portrayed in the trailers and stuff like that makes me think, because it's like, hey, stop doing it. She's trying to stop him from doing something. She's trying. She's like, yo, stop. You don't realize. It's more like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
From this YouTuber Chalmix, he did a whole theory about it, and I'm like, damn, this actually makes sense. And for me, what gets to me is the ending song. You could take it in multiple different ways, but I definitely feel like it's gonna be kind of sad a little bit though. It's more like those. It's more like, or it's either gonna be bittersweet where someone ends up getting hurt like a motherfucker. Or it's either a sacrifice, or someone gets hurt, like, badly in the process.
Now this is kind of getting me excited and kind of making.
Because right now it looks very, very promising. Like I said, only thing I'm scared about is the repetitive aspect of it, and the how big the islands are. I heard the islands are pretty big, but I just want to know, like, everything I can do in it, and everything I can do in it that's unique, that won't get repetitive. That's the only thing that I'm worried about, or like conscious about with the footage I've seen. But I would rate it, like, it looks great. Like, it looks fun. It looks like fast. It looks like there's a lot of good combat that you're going to be able to unlock later on in the game, like a Devil May Cry game. I'm very excited, and of course, like, the footage that is coming out right now looks amazing, and especially from the story, what I've seen from the story, I'm very excited about the story, and I'm hoping that, like, it lives up to the expectations that it's setting right now. But from what I've seen so far, I'm very, very excited, and I haven't been this excited for a Sonic game since Sonic Mania. So, like, I'm very excited, and I'm hoping the best for the game. I'm just hoping it's like, it doesn't even have to be like a 8 out of 10. It just gotta be, for me, like a 6, 7 out of 10 to be good to me. Or like to be like, okay, like they can build off of this. They can actually make another game off of this that'll be even better. This could be the Sonic Unleash for this new formula for 3D Sonic. And I'm really hoping that it lives up to those expectations.
Theorize, which I don't want to do too much, because like I said, I don't want to raise expectations too high. But I've heard the ending theme, and it's in context. Ian said that's going to be really, it's going to hit really hard. I think Sonic's going to do something that he believes is right.
insanely like he's gonna be doing some. I feel like he's gonna do an act where it's kind of selfish. It's like, yo, what the fuck, Sonic? I feel like it's gonna be everyone's reaction for what Sonic does. I guess in the end, it's gonna be like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, I feel like it's gonna be equivalent to Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3.
What I think is gonna happen is, I think Sonic's gonna make a decision that he believes is right, but it's the wrong choice. And it's going to do more harm than good. Like how he went against Tails' protests, and because he thought it was for the greater good, worked with Eggman in Sonic Lost World, which made Tails feel really betrayed and really upset. Like, you don't trust me to fix this. And Sonic's like, yo, but Eggman built this, so we don't know how this works, and I don't want to put you in danger. So we should just trust the person that made it, so we can all fix it because something greater took over. That's what Sonic's mentality was in Sonic Lost World. So I think this time he's going to be like, hey, this person is doing something really awful, and I have to stop it. But
He was
when
like,
he stops it,
it's gonna
everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And that's when I think that theme is going to kick in, and now he has to fix his mistake.
And I feel like
And it's
going
to cost
Eggman.
him his friends.
Oh yeah. I feel like Eggman's AI. I feel like Eggman. I think Sage is the AI, but Sage is Eggman's AI. But I truly think that she's gonna find more shit about the island. She's like, wait, nah, nah. And I feel like she's gonna go against Eggman's wishes, which is why the Titans are around and all that stuff. She's trying to protect the islands. That's what I think. And I feel like this is the first time we've seen Sonic fucking like scared. No, he's scared. He's scared.
Yeah.
He was like, bro, I think I might have to. He's like, yo, I think I can't do this shit without Super. I can't. He genuinely was like, I can't. And for what I've paid attention to, when you kind of stand still for a second, what I saw in the gameplay, when you stand still for a second, he holds his head.
Ooh, I think that he got infected by that weird cyber virus stuff, and I think that that's going to end up becoming more and more of a gameplay element as the story goes on. I think that if we stay still for too long, we'll be consumed by it. And
I feel like that's a stretch.
Kind of like the metal virus.
I feel like that's a stretch, but I do think it's neat that they have him holding his head.
Yeah.
Cause
the stress of everything.
Yeah, he's like, bro, this hurts. What's going on? Like, I feel like he's in that position, and it's like, damn, like, what am I supposed to do? For me, it's like it's either gonna come down to this. He's gonna get rid of every Titan, and he's gonna be like, yes, I did it. Now I can save my friends. And then the AI that's probably been trying to help him ultimately betrays him. And that's what Sage was trying to, like, stop.
Yeah.
And when Sonic gets betrayed, he's like, wait, what? Wait, oh no. And I feel like it's either his friends either get trapped again and stuff, and he gets hurt in the process. I feel like that might happen. Because they're like, oh, he's weakened. He's been taking too much power out of him. We got this. That's what I think is going to happen. I feel like someone's every Sonic game, every ending of a Sonic game, like every ending song correlates to what happens in the end.
Yeah.
It really correlates. Like, what happened at the end of the Shadow the Hedgehog? It was sad as fuck.
Incredibly sad, as he made a huge sacrifice.
Yeah. Like, and then Sonic Adventure 2, that was sad because Shadow sacrificed himself. And then we get fucking, let's see here. There's there's always been a theme, like Sonic Unleashed. It's like that ending song was like, it was like, it wasn't sad, but it gave, it was like it gave a hopeful vibe for the future.
Endless Possibilities gave a hopeful vibe because Sonic almost died, but his friend gave his life so that he could live.
Yeah.
So the world was open to Sonic to live, and that's what Endless Possibilities.
Like, for me, it's like, but like fucking Vandalize, when they started saying fight the, I've noticed that in the main theme and the ending theme they mention pain, like specifically.
Yeah, because he's fighting. There's a lyric in the ending thing where it's like, "Fight the pain away, my heart is in ruins," or something like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's fighting that pain away from that virus or whatever he's infected with, and I can't wait, dude.
Like for me,
even in Sonic Heroes, its ending theme with "What I'm Made Of" by Crush 40, it was a showdown between Metal Sonic trying to prove he's the real Sonic versus Super Sonic. Fire.
Like for me, it's like there's always going to be some correlation with Sonic's music. There's always going to be something.
Yeah.
So it's like his world is such a crazy ass song too.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like it's really, I really feel like that the story. I'm being hopeful. Hopefully, I'm not proven wrong, but I'm being hopeful that the story sticks its landing. It sticks its landing, and they keep Ian Flynn. I hope they keep him for 3D games moving forward, because I feel like he's the only writer who could actually understand what the fuck's going on. That's it. That's all I think. Because it's like there's a lot of things to the game, and I think that I think it'll be good. I'll eat my words. I will eat my words if that is the case. But I think
my words
it will be
should the
good.
time come. But yeah, I just can't wait, dude. Can't wait.
But this was basically the end of the discussion. As you noticed, there was one person that couldn't. I will include that in the video. He'll be recording his lines later. It'll be, I'll find a way to include it. It'll probably be after what we talk about, after each section, and I'll show it in the video, the transitions and everything like that. But it was nice to have this discussion at least almost a week away from the game, and discuss what's been going on. But I will be back with another video. I'll be doing a 6-hour review of the video of the game. My 6 hours and stuff, so I can talk about how it feels and all that stuff. But I hope to see you guys next time, and peace.